Well, it's like Groundhog Day recently. I mean, I thought the first period we were good. When we tied it up, we were good. But once they got I think we're a fragile group, and once they got the second and third in quick succession, it was like, oh no, here we go again. And it seems like when we need that goal, we were getting it earlier on. When we need that goal, the power play would come through, and the power play is not coming through right now. So it becomes harder, and then you press, and then they get odd man rushes, and then they score.
Did you see some of the same issues from the game against Winnipeg on Saturday?
Well,
team play?
I thought the effort was better tonight for the most part, and but I mean, the mistakes. When we make a mistake, it's a 10-bell mistake. It's not the puck bouncing over your stick and then something happening. We're doing stuff that, if you're there every day, we practice this stuff every day and get better at it every day. And then in the game, it's like our mind goes a little off when we're trying to do it all by ourselves a little bit.
The coaches are supposed to have all the answers. We ask you all these questions after every game, why this and why that. But have you ever had a team as perplexing as this one?
Oh, I'm sure I have. But it's, anytime you're not winning on a regular basis for coaches, it's perplexing, But I mean, and I guess the biggest part is you can look like champions one night, and then the next night you come back and you don't look like champions. You look like the opposite. And that's the most perplexing thing for me right now. Because I've seen the best of us, I've seen the worst of us. And I mean, I know we're going to come out of this because we have in the past all the time. But it's hard going through it.
Is it worse that it happens at home? It seems to happen at home more than on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously, I mean, we don't, look at, I hate being booed. Like, I mean, in life you hate being booed, right? And they have the right to do it when they don't have what they deem is the success that they'd like to see. And so that's a hard pill to swallow. But I mean, we'd love to be 41-0 at home and make it, tough for teams to come into this building and win. But right now, that's just not happening. I mean, there's still a lot of home games left, and we firmly believe that we'd much rather play at home than on the road, no matter what has happened in the last couple of weeks. But hopefully we'll dig ourselves out of this home rut, and if we can continue playing well on the road, then good things should happen.
Bruce, you're a remarkably positive guy, and you say you will pull out of this. But what gives you that confidence? You're 31 games in, and the defense has been an issue pretty much every night.
Well, because it always has for me. That's why I'm confident. As a coach, I've never had a losing season, so I just never think that we're going to lose. I think every game we start, we're going to win. I thought going into the third period, if we scored one goal early, that we would win the game. And if you believe otherwise, then you have no chance of winning. I mean, if I don't believe that, as you can see when I'm out here in a press conference here, that I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, if I'm not in a very good mood and unhappy, you can just look at me and see it. So I mean, I can't go in there and not be, believe me when I say I give them, a lot of, but a lot of time. So it's not all rainbows and everything else. But I got to believe, I got to make them think that they can win, or if they don't think they can win, then there's no chance of us ever winning.
I know you're mindful of where you are in the standings. You tell us that a fair bit. You watch everything that goes on around you. You haven't played much in the last 2 weeks. It's just the one win. Mm-hmm. You're 7 points back of the playoff part now. How daunting is that? Well,
it's daunting, but I mean, at the same time, if we had won tonight, we'd be tied with St. Louis. And, there's, Nashville's had lost 6 in a row before tonight's game, and there's teams that go through these things. And I know when I took over, we were a lot more than 7 points back the last time. So it's getting healthy is going to help, and getting healthy and hopefully going on a run of more than 3 games would be the ideal situation.
not having Patterson is a pretty big hole to fill, isn't it?
I'm glad you see that. He's, one of the best players in the league, and you could tell just even on the power play, even though he doesn't have the most power play points, he is such a threat that people, they really have to watch him on that side. When you take him away from there, it makes it an awful lot easier to cover the other guys. So I mean, he's a big miss. There's no doubt.
Do you have a feel yet for when you might have him back at practice?
I'm hoping that it probably won't be tomorrow, but the next day I'm hoping he's at practice. I mean, it's just, but we got to wait till he gets better. I mean, and it's not a COVID thing. It's another, a sickness, whether it's the flu or what have you. But once he gets over, I mean, he'll be the first one that wants to come to the rink.
What happened on the too many men? Did somebody jump early, or?
Well, what happened is I think the defense for sure thought that we had a 3-on-2 going the other way, that we would get it in deep. And when you don't get it in, and because it's a natural, you're not even thinking, you're just changing because you think the puck's going to be in their zone, and then they intercept it or deflect it, and it comes right on your stick. It's not much you can do.